Hey bitches, welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting here once again with the love of my life. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk some shit. It's been a minute since we posted over here.
It's been a hot minute. We have not been posting on YouTube, but we have been posting on social media, especially over on Twitter.
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, X, as a lot of people would like to call it now. They said that when you type in like twitter.com, it automatically redirects to X and it'll show at the top of your screen. It still shows me Twitter.
Yeah, me too.
The first person that I want to talk about is Jaclyn Hill, because the other day it was announced that she was going to go on the Lautner's podcast. It's called The Squeeze. It's a mental health podcast, and there was a clip uploaded over on TikTok that had people talking immediately. They were down in the comment section. As normal with Jaclyn, whenever she's announced to be on something, you have the people over there that go and just comment all these horrible things about her, say that she's been a liar her whole entire career. And while some of those things may be true...
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this because like I've literally never talked about this publicly in my career. I'm so scared to be judged for it, which I know is so silly. I've waited for there to be a safe enough space such as this one to have this conversation.
I'm so proud of you.
Really bad. It was getting physical, way past emotional abuse at this point.
When do you stand up and protect yourself?
Oh, you can hear my voice shaking. It's kind of like skeletons in my closet. I want to preface this by saying that my heart is pounding out of my throat right now.
I believe that there are going to be two different parts to this, maybe 2 or 3 different parts to this interview, but a lot of people were upset because they thought that she was going to like bash John. And I just wanted to say in this video that I did skim through this and I looked at the comments to see what people's reaction was. No negative comments about Jaclyn Hill, and people are actually very impressed how her and Jordan both like did not say anything ill of the dead and like really talked about him in a respectful way.
I don't really understand why people were getting upset with Jaclyn. She did have an experience with John. Now, I'm not saying she should get on there and bash him. It doesn't seem like she did, but she's fully capable, and I think she's fully within her right to tell her story. It's her truth, right? She lived that experience. Who is anybody to tell her she can't?
One thing that I noticed about this interview, and I even said to him, I was like, this is so good for Jaclyn, because I feel like you have not seen Jaclyn talk in this way on social media or on a podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all saw the one with Manny and Laura. She could not get a word in edgewise, basically. What was the other person that she went on their podcast?
Allie,
Abby
Woods,
Avery Woods. I do not know if there's going to be any drama that comes with this podcast. I'm sure that Jaclyn Hill is, of course, going to talk about the lipsticks once again, and probably the other businesses that she had, including Cozy. I think that I would actually go as far as to recommend people actually do go and watch this video about Jaclyn Hill. I've told you guys, I think that she's on like a whole new like rebrand tour, and she's going to try to like reinvent herself. Still don't know what that is, because we know that she's lost a ton of weight. She quit drinking. She said that it's not Ozempic. She will tell you that until the cows come home, that it is not Ozempic.
It's Poppy.
So I don't know. I thought it was going to be like a mocktail type thing. I feel like that would be like such a good thing for her.
I just think it's so crazy that Jaclyn's like really good friends with Taylor Lautner. That's kind of
The Lautners. That's a good last name. That's a good last name.
That is a really great last name. It sounds so regal.
It does.
But you know, when Jaclyn gets into talking about those lipsticks, it's going to go left for a lot of people. When she gets to those lipsticks or whatever, she's going to go and try to rewrite it. That's what she's been doing on these other podcasts. She never really took accountability for it. That's why I keep saying, what about the balls, Jaclyn? What about the balls?
I did see that lipstick was in the title of today's podcast, and I did not hear anything about those lipsticks. A little clickbait shady over there on the Lautners.
It's coming, girl. There's a part 2. There's
Oh,
a part
for sure.
2 to
No,
it.
there's going to be a part 2. People are going to pick that one apart, but this first episode, I personally think that was very good for Jaclyn. I think that she sounded amazing. It was nice to actually see her and her husband sit next to each other. They were both kind of like talking about things that were going on in their life and all of that. It was good. It was a feel-good podcast. The next thing I want to talk about is this lady that was freaking out over on TikTok. We have all rented a car, and sometimes the inside of the car can smell like some chemicals because they literally like hose it down now. Like ever since COVID, they like spray a thick ass disinfectant in those cars, and it does have a smell. So I'm agreeing with this lady that I'm about to show you guys that the smell can be overwhelming and can give you a headache, especially if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
The reason that this lady's video is going viral is because she rented a car from Avis. She literally went and got in the car, smelled like the chemicals, she could not do it, was getting a headache, went back to the rental car company and like told them about it. They wrote on her key with like a little post-it note, "Crazy lady." And so she found out about this. She saw it on the key and she started going off on the lady at the front desk. I felt a little bad for the lady at the front desk like originally, but then as it went on and I started watching her like facial expressions, I was like, oh, this bitch knew.
Yeah.
Oh, she knew, because she wasn't going to tell the name of the person that actually did this.
I'm so over my rental car with Avis.
That is so inappropriate.
I apologize.
That is very inappropriate.
I didn't leave this. I do apologize.
That's not fair. You don't need to videotape me. I apologize for that. I didn't write the note. But recording me is not necessary.
Are you just upset that I was able to capture what you guys said about me behind my back? Do you understand how sick I was the other day when I got into the car?
Like I said, I did not leave that note. I do apologize for that.
I am shaking right now.
I apologize very much.
Who wrote that note and who's the manager? That is so inappropriate. I got so sick the other day from the fragrance.
I understand that.
So then who left the note? I'm not even, like, who left the note?
It was just another counter agent here. I apologize for that very, very much.
Who was the counter agent that wrote that down? That is so inappropriate. The fact that I was so sick the other day from the fragrance, I almost passed out. I threw up violently. I couldn't even get myself home safely. Like,
correct. And I understand all of that. And like I said, I do apologize for that note. I apologize.
I want to know who wrote that note.
I'm not going to give you that information. I will give you the phone number to another location though, for a manager to be there.
Why can't I get the manager's name here? Or is it the same manager?
There's a phone call. There's a card for her right there.
That is so inappropriate. That has me shaking right now because I'm like, I have been, the fact that I have not been heard when I told you guys that the fragrance made me sick.
I 100% hear you.
I'm not even upset with you because it's my first time seeing you, but whoever left that note is, it's completely uncalled for.
Everything I could to make accommodations for you to do all of that. I 100%.
And I appreciate that,
yes,
but
I agree.
inappropriate.
It should have been left. I agree. I do agree with you. I apologize. You're all set, my dear. It is a white Toyota Corolla.
Wait, did you give me the keys yet? Or
I had him clean it this morning with absolutely no
fragrance,
no chemicals. Yep.
Okay.
He just used water to wipe down the screens and water to wipe down the seats. And I told him the outside wasn't too much of a worry because I'm pretty sure it's gonna rain today. So there's all that for you. Again, I do apologize. I will, and I'm gonna call now and let the upper management know about the situation as well. Okay.
Who left the note on there?
I'm not gonna say just because she's a lower end. I mean, not a lower.
Was it the other girl that's usually here?
Yeah, she just doesn't work here all the time. So I apologize.
That's so shady. That's like when the barista at Starbucks put your name down like wrong, or they put something shady.
Yeah, don't shade me because
I would have went the off too. Like, who does she think she is?
This actually went like super viral, and people were like making stitches of this and telling her that she was completely wrong and she was just overreacting and how like dare she yell at the workers. She made a second video and she actually pulled up because she was not letting this go. Like Avis, I'm sure that she has talked to the owner of Avis by this point. They sent her what the actual chemical was that was in the car, and it is a thick disinfectant, and she literally read off all of the information, all the warnings and all of that, and it says if you inhale it you need to go to poison control like immediately.
I'm in the middle of painting and I don't have time to respond to all of the trolls and my comments, but I do want to address the issue about me being sensitive to what it is that they sprayed in the car. I spoke to the manager this morning. She gave me the name of the product that they sprayed in the car. It is a heavy duty janitorial disinfectant, which I pulled up the safety data sheets for, okay? Give me a second. The data sheet specifically says to not inhale the fumes, don't touch it, don't smoke near it, don't eat or drink or whatever near the fumes. It specifically says that if inhaled, remove the person and call poison control. It says to get medical attention. So for those of you that think that I was being overly dramatic on Monday when I brought the car back and told them that it made me severely ill, you guys can bug off at this point because I knew that the fumes were toxic. I got sick within a few minutes on Monday. I brought the car back. They swapped it out for me. I have just been waiting since Monday for them to give me a car in the size class that I had reserved. So you guys can keep talking shit, but I know that Avis sprayed this shit in the car and it made me sick.
So pitch, Avis. free car rentals for her.
Something. She needs some kind of
Yes.
compensation, and
That's
then
my
to be
ruling.
called crazy because she actually
Yeah.
gives a shit about her health. Maybe the way she went about it with the attitude. But I can't even sit here and say that. I'd be pissed too.
They
I'd be
wrote on
pissed
the
the fuck
key.
off.
They wrote on the key, "Crazy lady."
Yeah,
that was
I'll
one of
show
the
you, crazy lady.
It was one of the main things that I saw people saying, like, this video right here is evidence as to why they wrote on the key that you are a crazy lady. Now, we did not see a video prior. Maybe she walked up to them and she was like screaming, being like really f***ing dramatic. I don't know. Could that be a possibility? Probably.
But even let's say she was. Do you think putting crazy lady on the card that you're gonna give her for her to see is a good idea? Do you really think that
I
that's
don't
something that
think
you should
they
do?
thought she was gonna see it.
Well,
I don't think that they thought she was going to see it because I think they were going to give her a different car because that one smelled like all that and it was giving her the headache. So they probably just put the key somewhere and she like looked down and she's like, "Oh." Imagine it wasn't even her car key.
Well, that just
They
goes.
talk about another crazy lady at the Avis.
That for me is kind of like what we talked about in my video, like the dentist office. Like people really don't respect other people.
And speaking of not having respect, let's talk about James Charles real quick because he
Girl.
has gone viral for something today that many of us, I still have not seen this by the way.
We
thank
never. This was
God.
never
I
anticipated.
said a prayer. Hold on. I said a prayer earlier today when they said that this was leaked of James Charles. I said a prayer. I said, Jesus, I don't come to you often, but please do not let that come up on my timeline. Thank you. Amen. Hallelujah. And I have not seen it.
I have, and
It got good.
I missed the person that I was before. I watched that truthfully. I'm not even going to say imagine this, but whatever you think it is, whatever you imagine in your brain is not what happened in that video. It's worse, severely worse.
He described it to me.
It's
something. I do want to say this, though. I do not think that anybody's naked pictures should be leaked like that. That's like
No.
a horrible thing and a huge invasion of privacy.
yes. Well, you know, James has had shit like this happen in the past. He's tweeted out his own stuff. Now, I'm not saying that makes it okay for other people to do it, but he's had his ass across the internet before, girl.
Now, do you remember when James was on Snapchat and he like put out a picture of his ass and he was like, "Oh my God, I was hacked. Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Girl, what you did was you were probably trying to send that ass photo of you like making it shake or something in the photo. You probably meant to send it to somebody as a private snap and you put it on your story and then you're like, "I'm taking my power back."
Yeah, that was probably what it was. But I'm telling you, like, that.
This is awful for him. People were saying that they do feel very sorry for the teenager that got their phone hacked for this to obviously be leaked. This is what I want to say about this because jerking off with someone or doing that on FaceTime with them is not so far-fetched in this day and age. People
Yeah.
do it all the time,
They
okay?
do.
But the thing is, you would think by now, James Charles, that has been called out so many times for inappropriate things with minors, been called out so many times for inappropriate things that he said in DMs, been called out so many times for this, that, and the other, he'd probably be like, I'm not going to make my butthole wink on camera for this person. I am not going to do that.
You would think that he would be at least a little bit more cautious, you know? Like, the fact that this leaked and it's out there now, once it's out there, you can't take it back, right? So, I mean...
Oh, God, girl. He's going to start an OnlyFans.
Oh, he's going to embrace it. James Charles is
and
gonna...
he should.
He's going to double down.
You know what? I think that James Charles should embrace it and just say, yeah, I was being an adult as long as that person was of age. We have to make sure of that first. But I was being an adult.
Did we ever think that this was going to happen? Like, we hear about James Charles and leaks all the time with, like, messages and stuff we have in the past. But do you think that he really thought that this much of him would ever be out there? Because there's nothing about James Charles, if you've seen that video, that you... Like,
I do think that he...
Nothing.
I do think that
Left
he
to the
probably thought
imagination.
that this was going to happen. I just feel so happy that I haven't seen it.
Well, you know what is actually crazy?
I feel like...
If you think about it, if you were to go back in time and watch James Charles's video where he comes out in the Omegle story, that's exactly what happened here.
The Omegle story
Yeah.
where he used to dress up as like a lesbian or something. What did
Yeah.
he dress up as? Like a woman. He put a wig on.
Well, he said that he never would put his camera on and he would just lure men in and... Yeah.
Red flag, red flag. And with all that said, everyone, that is it for this video. We hope that you did enjoy it. Please leave us a balloon emoji. And we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.